We might be witnessing the most iconic press run of the 20s. Underestimate this woman at your own peril. She's hungry to win, taking everything, and the Tigers are coming.
I need to import some spices for you all over here. That's the only downfall of the UK.
Can you do a British accent?
This is Tyla, Grammy Award-winning artist, global pop star, and feminine icon. Women all over the world fantasize about being Tyla, and an entire generation of women imitate her on TikTok. She gets compared to Disney princesses as well. That's also something going on. Yet, at her core, Tyla is just a normal South African colored woman.
I'm thinking it's blowing up. Meanwhile, people are thinking my name is Tyla the Creator. Hi guys. So yeah, I had to change my TikTok name because of that.
Now this term colored has had a lot of controversy around it because of Tyla. Apparently, Americans expect Tyla to throw away her 22 years of life and cultural context to try and fit in with them. Which is interesting, but we'll get to that later. South Africa is a land filled with good food, criminals, and a lot of musicians. Especially in this economy, the musicians are popping up like weeds. Now that we have our own certified pop star as South Africans, I think this is the moment where we need to open up and unravel her story. My role is to contextualize the forces that push and pull South Africa, be they pop stars or doctors. Today we dive into the extraordinary rise of Tyla, a story of resilience, talents, and of course, wartime. Tyla's childhood played a crucial role in shaping the artist she is today. She grew up in Johannesburg, South Africa, and she was immersed in a musically rich environment. We are a musically rich and musically diverse people in South Africa. From the second you start walking, you've got your aunt, you've got your parents, you've got your uncles, you've got your siblings, all instilling you with music, flavor, and taste. So as one of the people of our country, Tyla was of course exposed to a lot of good music from a young age, which enhanced her sonic palette. Aaliyah, Boyz II Men, Michael Jackson, Mikasa, and Rihanna greatly influenced her taste and also her ambitions to achieve success. I mean, look at these videos of this child in Johannesburg just singing her heart out to Justin Bieber covers.
For a long while, what's gonna make you fall in love? I know that you got your world wrapped all the way around your heart.
This passion would go on into her adolescence, as in high school she served as the head of culture at Eden Glen High School, which she matriculated from in 2019. She was an active participant in school activities, including choir and drama club.
She became a head of culture, she was a leader. She would tell you what she felt. So if she felt that, listen, you've been unfair, she'll say, ma'am, also, you've been unfair about this.
She always wanted to stand out, and her mission was to go the extra mile.
After convincing her parents to take a year away from her studies to focus on music, she met her first manager, Top Shotter, or Khvn Glen. Now what's interesting about this guy, Top Shotter, is that he also used to shoot videos for Sho Madjozi. And this is something that Mac G pointed out in this clip on his podcast.
But he's saying that should have been Sho Madjozi. So what happened is Sho Madjozi was dating her videographer, some white guy, right?
Okay.
And then they broke up.
Okay.
So when they broke up, this videographer started dating Tyla, right?
Yo.
And then he started like shooting music videos for her. And then he took her to America. So like, you know when Sho Madjozi was on like John Cena and doing all those things?
Yeah, on Ellen
Yeah, there
DeGeneres.
was a team behind that.
And it was the videographer's influence.
Yes.
Whoa.
So now that team is on Tyla now. They're focusing on Tyla.
Now that whole story is from McG, and he claims that he got it from Nota. However, there is some things in real life that we can look at that maybe help substantiate the story. The fact that Khvn or Top Shotter used to work extensively with Shoma Josie on a lot of different projects, as well as the fact that he also worked with Tyla. Here she is confirming it in an interview.
For who did you work with?
I didn't have a whole, hey, producer, videographer, like no. It was like me, my best friend, my manager. He also shot the video. He's a videographer as well.
Oh, the manager shot the video?
Yes, my manager shot the video.
Most interesting part to me about Top Shotter's involvement in Tyla's career is that he essentially filmed her most important music video.
I was literally just making music, and when I dropped the video for Getting Late, all the labels literally reached out. There was a whole bidding war. Like, it was crazy. And yeah, Epic was the one I went with.
So essentially this guy, Top Shotter or Khvn, was the initial catalyst behind Tyla's entire career. Wait, stop. So I'm pretty much done with the edit of this video when I decide, let me just check out more about this Shoma Josie, Tyla and Top Shotter link. I was just feeling like there's something there that no one's seen yet. So I looked into it, and boy, oh boy, this is crazy. I haven't even gotten the time to set up. You guys have just got to keep with me. This is insane. So basically, in 2022, Shoma Josie goes on a YFM interview and she speaks on betrayal and losing members of the team. Listen to what she says very carefully.
COVID hit. Past that year, and then I started losing like members of my team on some weird stuff though, like on some really shady moves, right? People got really greedy and weird. It was like such a painful and weird year. Yeah. The backstabbing, the betrayal, like just ridiculous to the point like, yo, I was like, you know, and so I wanted to show people.
So before this time period and the inclusion of Tyla, we see that Top Shotter and Shoma Josie had been working together extensively, but they've now unfollowed each other on socials, but there's still pictures and timelines linking them. So they were together around 2019 to 2020. And when I say together, I mean as a team. I don't really care about the relationship angle, even though this website suggests that they were dating. Again, take that however you want, it doesn't matter. What matters here is that Top Shotter has this creative agency or imprint called Facts. He takes Tyla to the United States. We know this because of this Instagram post, and she signs on to Epic and he's right there in the room as she's signing on. That's insane, bro. Then Shoma Josie sings these lyrics in that same YFM interview about someone not being able to replace her or create another version of her.
Where are the men who said they made me? Yo, how come my pocket's fatter? How come I'm so much better ever since they left me? Yes. The math just doesn't add up. No. And if you made my Josie, make a copy, let's see.
Another thing I find crazy about the link between these two is that Shoma Josie did colors, Tyla does colors. Shoma Josie wins a BET, Tyla wins a BET. Shoma Josie does Kelly Clarkson, so does Tyla. Shoma Josie's at the NBA, Tyla is at the NBA. Now this could all be a pretty huge coincidence.
You can't automatically assume that just because Shoma Josie had the resources Tyla had, she was going to be Tyla kind of big, you know, because I think it all goes with the sound, the right timing.
She's more unique. What do you mean? Shoma Josie sticks out like a sore thumb, bro.
You were saying in between songs, hey, you know, my boyfriend just broke up with me, and you got to tell him how much fun I'm having, how much fun you're having, how sorry he should be.
Yeah, well, thank you for reminding me of that painful time in my life.
Sorry.
No. I was heartbroken, but thank you. I was terribly heartbroken.
But I bet that made you feel better.
It did. I was like, yeah, if he does go into my social media, I do want him to see that I'm on tour.
Right.
So that was a part of it. And then I was like, yeah, why not use this to also push, the song I was pushing at the time?
Imagine two of South Africa's biggest international pop stars ever in a love triangle with a videographer. I'm not saying that's what's happening here. I'm saying to imagine. Anyway, my conclusion on this is that I would personally love to have all three of them in a room and ask them what happened here. Other than that, I have no other conclusions to draw. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, her team at Epic Records, which I mentioned earlier, also deserve a lot of credit. They have done one of the best jobs I've seen any team do with a young artist. They managed to springboard the initial success that she got from Getting Late and transpose it into her next tidal wave hit, Water.
And the Grammy goes to Water. Tyla.
Oh my, what the heck? What? Oh my gosh, guys, this is crazy. Like, I never thought I'd say I won a Grammy at 22 years old. Guys, like, I'm, if you don't know me, my name is Tyla, I'm from South Africa.
She is a banner for those girls in Cape Town, Joburg and Durban who walk like her, move like her, and use the same lingo as her. They talk like her. She validates their personal experience of the world. She validates South African women to the rest of the world. Whether you feel that's important or not doesn't matter. It's happening.
It's Tyla. Get ready with me for the Met Gala.
She has this extreme magnetism that can be attributed to her personality and also her style. Her fashion sense is on point, and you can tell she puts a lot of thought into how she dresses and presents herself. Her looks are a blend of edgy and chic, and there's this dignified, almost sacred and mystical quality to how she dresses and how she sets up her aesthetic. I think there's these pictures of Tyla which just make her look ethereal, and she is beautiful. That's not even my opinion. That is an objective take at this point. Tyla is stunning. And I'm not the only person who believes that. Enter streamer Khvn.
Tyla? Would you like to go on a date with me?
Are you asking for real?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
What you mean? Why not?
Don't do that.
I'm serious. Whenever you get some free time, would you like to go on a date with me?
You can't do that. On a whole live thing.
Why not? It's true or dare.
Yeah. But we're friends though.
You right.
Yeah, we're friends.
You right.
Earlier this year, my boy Khvn took his shot at Tyla, and he faced what a lot of great men, in fact all great men, will have to experience in their lives at one point: rejection. But the best part about it is that it did create this epic meme moment that can live on forever on the internet.
We friends though. Hey, let's find a wall. Dude, find a wall. I got one more picture. You got that. Gotta put that somewhere. I got one more picture.
But we friends though. Yo, shout out Kai. I respect people who shoot their shots. What did Gretzky say? Since we're dealing with Americans, Gretzky said you miss 100% of the shots that you do not take. Speaking about Americans, a lot of them had a lot to say about Tyla on their platforms recently. Some give interesting takes, but let's just observe what they had to say about her.
They didn't want us to ask about Kai tonight. The whole "we friends" though thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, huh?
Okay.
They didn't want to ask. They didn't want us to ask about her not being on tour with Chris Brown anymore. They didn't want us to ask about the color thing.
Injury.
They didn't want us to ask about her injury that she sustained. What else was it? They didn't want to ask us about who she was dating, which I wouldn't do anyway. And what was the other one? It was one it was just all frivolous
and
stuff.
Why? What are they trying to do? They're trying to protect an image that they're curating for her?
To the Americans listening right now, and this is a genuine question. I think American culture is pretty cool. You guys do a lot of cool stuff. You've got rap, you've got hot dogs, eagles, explosives, war. You guys have a lot of cool stuff. And I'm genuinely not taking shots. I want to ask a question. Do you guys really go as hard for Andrew here and Charlemagne here, as you feel that South Africans would go as hard for Tyla. I'm actually asking a genuine question that I want response to in the comments. Do you guys actually love Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz? Do they like get you guys up?
You want me to not ask her about Kai Cenat the day after Kevin Hart just was on Kai Cenat's show again with
Bringing
a
it
big
up.
ass sign that said "We friends" though?
Yeah.
Like, come on, yo. So I said to them, no.
Oh.
Now, when I say no, I'm not gonna oblige any of this. It is your job then, label, management, whoever, to either prepare the artist for the questions or pull the interview.
Exactly.
Contrary to what you think I might say about this, I actually agree with Charlemagne here. He's free to run his platform the way he wants, and the Breakfast Club is free to choose which artists can show up on their platform, and they're free to ask whatever questions they feel relevant. And that's part of the integrity of journalism, is the integrity to ask a difficult question that will be difficult for not only the person asking the question, but will be difficult for the person answering it.
School me on these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not? Por favor.
Oh, I like that. We keeping that in the interview too.
Oh,
I like when they talk from the back.
So eventually, after this moment on the Breakfast Club, Tyla was forced to release a statement about her comments or her refusal to comment. She said this, she said, "I never denied my blackness. I don't know where that came from. I'm mixed with black, Zulu, Irish, Mauritian, Indian, and colored. In South Africa, I would be classified as a colored woman, and in other places, I would be classified as a black woman. Race is classified differently in different parts of the world. And that is the truth. It's not the same everywhere."
But for that black person from America who grew up Brooklyn, Harlem, wherever, boom, boom, all this shit is null and void.
Okay, so all of the clips from the Joe Budden podcast kept getting claimed, so I'm just going to explain what this guy was saying. So basically he was saying that black people in the hoods of America aren't trying to hear about Tyla's identity politics because for them the black experience is different, according to him. So according to this joker over here, American black people are fundamentally different from all other black people on the planet. Their experience of life is apparently more justified than the kids in South America, the black kids from there, or any child in Africa just because they grew up in Baltimore and Brooklyn. According to him, there is no crossover between black people in the world. And we just come to America as black people from other countries to claim their blackness. So my question to this specific person on the Joe Budden podcast, I'm not expecting a response, but it's my question, is that if American people are tone deaf to what's going on in South Africa, they're not trying to hear it, as he puts it, right? You guys are not trying to hear it. Then why does it matter how Tyla classifies herself anyway?
You talk about racism against black people. You also talk about white farmers being killed. Whilst there's no mention that the second largest population group in this country, not being white, them being colored, is so neglected. We've got the highest incarceration rate.
So to clarify for those who aren't familiar with South Africa's diverse cultural landscape, the term colored refers to a distinct ethnic group with a unique cultural identity. Unlike the general notion of being mixed race, coloreds in South Africa have their own customs, traditions, and history that sets them apart from just being mixed race. Some individuals within this diverse community of coloreds like Tyla would identify themselves as black people being the root of a lot of colored people, but that is not always true as well. But many other colored people do not identify themselves as black and purely identify themselves as colored people. And we cannot judge them for that. Tyla's refusal to answer questions on her blackness has more to do with the fact that race is not discussed lightly in South Africa in the same way that it is in the rest of the world. It's a sensitive and volatile issue, guys. Mind you, we are 30 years off the boat of apartheid, and we're now just entering the stride of a democratic South Africa with a generation of born frees which are finally entering jobs that have been free their entire lives. The only person on the Joe Budden podcast who seemed to get this, that apartheid was a thing, was Ish.
From South Africa,
Right. You know what I'm
where
saying?
their entire history was from the apartheid shit, and they got broken down into different classes of black.
Ish goes on to explain that black people were segregated into different classes, i.e. black, Indian and colored, and that as Americans they don't really have a good gauge or an understanding of what happened in our country. I genuinely give Ish props for saying this instead of using his platform to tear down a 22-year-old woman because maybe you don't like her management team.
Yeah, it's like, hey, over here I'm black, hey, and it's like, okay, but can we know more?
I just hope they remember this when their friends are asking us for piano features and Afrobeat features.
What would you say is the biggest misconception about you?
That I literally came out of nowhere and I'm an industry plant. It's like, what the heck? I'm a whole plant. Imagine. People don't know how hard I've worked and how hard my team has worked to get here.
Notice she says her team. Now, I like Tyla a lot, but let's call a spade a spade. There's no way in hell she is popping the way she popped in the last year without a team of professionals and experts right next to her holding her hand. And that's no disrespect to Tyla, that's just respect for a game that people a lot more seasoned have failed at. Justin Bieber had Scooter Braun, Tyla has Khvn Glenn, Epic Records, and Brandon V. Hickson. What I will say though is that in South Africa, she did not even win a South African Music Award, a Summer Award, before she won her Grammy Award. So in South Africa, she is no industry plant. Overseas? Maybe. When I set out to do this video, I didn't think it was going to be this intense. I'm still not sure how I'm going to edit it, but I've spoken enough at this point. This is Loy signing off. Peace.